Robert Joseph Long, October 14, 1953, May 23, 2019, also known as Bobby Joe Long, was an American serial killer and rapist who was executed for the murder of Michelle Denise Sims. Long abducted, sexually assaulted, and murdered at least 10 women in the Tampa Bay area in Florida during an 8-month period in 1984. He released one of his last victims, 17-year-old Lisa McVeigh, after raping her over a period of 26 hours. McVeigh provided information to the police that enabled them to track him down. Long was sentenced to death for 2 of the 10 murders. He was executed by lethal injection on May 23, 2019. Early life. Long was born on October 14, 1953 in Kenova, West Virginia to Joe and Louetta Long. Long suffered multiple head injuries as a child. Long also had a dysfunctional relationship with his mother. He slept in her bed until he was a teenager, and resented her multiple short-term boyfriends. Long married his high school girlfriend in 1974, with whom he had 2 children before she filed for divorce in 1980. Prior to the Tampa Bay area murders, Long had committed at least 50 rapes as the classified ad rapist in Fort Lauderdale, Ocala, Miami, and Dade County. Starting in 1981, Long answered classified ads for small appliances, and if he found a woman alone at home, he would rape her. Long was tried and convicted for rape in 1981 but requested a new trial, which was granted. The charges were later dropped. Before Long moved to Florida, he lived in Long Beach, California, on the 2500 block of Eucalyptus Avenue, where he rented a room from a woman named Kathy. Long dated a 17-year-old girl across the street from his rented room. Long began contacting women through the Penny Saver and other classified ads. When Long found a woman alone, he asked to use the bathroom, took out his rape kit and brutally raped and robbed the woman. These crimes were never prosecuted by the local California authorities, in part because the statute of limitations had already expired by the time he was caught. Murders. Long moved to the Tampa Bay area in 1983. Long's first victim was discovered in May 1984, when the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office (HCSO) was called to a crime scene where the body of a nude woman had been found. This began an intensive investigation into the abduction, rape, and murder of at least 10 women in 3 counties in the Tampa Bay area: Hillsborough, Pasco, and Pinellas, involving the personnel from the HCSO, the FBI, the Tampa Police Department, TPD, the Pasco County Sheriff's Office, PCSO, and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FDLE. The bodies of the victims were typically found in a state of decomposition long after the murders, having been dumped near a rural roadside and dragged into the woods. Modus operandi. In 1984, while on probation for assault, Long began driving around in a 1978 Dodge Magnum looking for victims in areas known for prostitution and in bars where women were found alone. Long claimed that his victims approached him, and he would persuade them to enter his car and took them to his apartment. Long would then bind the victims with rope and ligature collars he had fashioned, using a variety of rope knots. Long later confessed that he derived sadistic pleasure from the abduction, rape, and brutal murder of his victims, some of whom he strangled to death. Others he killed by slitting their throats or bludgeoning them. Long would then arrange his victims' bodies in unique positions, or display. Of Long's 10 known victims, 5 of the women were identified as known prostitutes, 2 as exotic dancers. The remaining 3 victims were a factory worker, a student, and 1 had an unknown occupation. Known victims: Artis Ann Wick, 20, killed on March 27, 1984, and Gayanthi Long, 19, killed on May 13, 1984. Michelle Denise Sims, 22, killed on May 27, 1984. Linda Nuttall, assaulted in May 1984, survived. Elizabeth Loudenbach, 22, killed on June 8, 1984. Vicki Marie Elliott, 21, killed on September 7, 1984 Chanel Devon Williams, 18, killed on October 7, 1984 Karen Beth Dinsfriend, 28, killed on October 14, 1984 Kimberly Kyle Hops, 22, killed on October 31, 1984 Lisa McVeigh, 17, assaulted on November 3, 1984, survived Virginia Lee Johnson, 18, killed on November 6, 1984 Kim Marie Swan, 21, killed on November 11, 1984. Capture. At the time of his capture, Long was wanted in 3 Tampa Bay area jurisdictions where investigators had collected multiple forms of forensic evidence, including clothing, carpet fibers, semen, ligature marks, and rope knots. Long was arrested outside a movie theater on November 16, 1984, and charged with the sexual battery and kidnapping of Lisa McVeigh. Long signed a formal Miranda waiver and consented to questioning. After the detectives procured a confession for the McVeigh case, their questioning focused on a series of unsolved sexual battery homicides in the Tampa Bay area. As the detectives questioned Long about the murders, he replied, "I'd rather not answer that." The detectives continued the interrogation and handed Long photographs of the various murder victims. At this point, Long stated, "The complexion of things sure have sick changed since you came back into the room. I think I might need an attorney." No attorney was provided, and Long eventually confessed to 8 murders in Hillsborough County and 1 murder in Pasco County. Fiber evidence analysis by the FBI linked Long's vehicle to most of his victims. Trial. The Hillsborough County State Attorney's Office confronted Long with the evidence. The state attorney and the public defender's office of Hillsborough County reached a plea bargain for 8 of the homicides and the abduction and rape of Lisa McVeigh. Long pled guilty on September 24, 1985, to all of these crimes, receiving 26 life sentences without the possibility of parole, 24 concurrent and 2 to run consecutively to the first 24, and 7 life sentences with the possibility of parole after 25 years. In addition, the state retained the option to seek the death penalty for the murder of Michelle Sims. In July 1986, the penalty phase of the Michelle Sims trial was held in Tampa. It lasted 1 week and received extensive media attention. Long was found guilty and was sentenced to die in Florida's electric chair. Although Long confessed to raping and killing women, his confession was thrown out. His trial proceeded straight to the penalty phase, which was possible in the 1980s. In early 1985, he received the death penalty. Long was convicted and appealed his first-degree murder conviction and death sentence for crimes committed in Hillsborough County. Long appealed his first-degree murder conviction and sentence of death in the death of Virginia Johnson. And appealed from the Circuit Court in and for Pasco County, in which Long's death sentence was vacated, his conviction reversed, and his case remanded to the trial court with directions to enter an order of acquittal for the murder of Virginia Johnson. On February 24, 1999, Long accused the Capital Collateral Regional Council, the state office defending death row inmates in their appeals, of revealing his private letters to a book author, thus violating attorney-client privilege. He also accused the agency of running a death pool, betting on the dates on which inmates would be executed, and asked that the agency be removed from his case. An investigation concluded that these allegations were unfounded. Long's petition for a writ of mandamus to require Bob Dillinger, the public defender for the 6th Judicial Circuit, to relinquish possession and control of his file in State v. Long, was denied. According to the Florida Department of Corrections, Long had 1 5-year sentence, 4 99-year sentences, 28 life sentences, and 1 death sentence. Execution. On April 23, 2019, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed Long's death warrant, this being the first death warrant signed by DeSantis since he took office in January 2019. Long's subsequent appeals were denied and he was executed by lethal injection on May 23, 2019. More than 30 years after his conviction, he ate his final meal at 9:30 a.m. local time. He requested roast beef, bacon, French fries and soda. He was pronounced dead at 6:55 p.m. and made no last statement. Documentaries. The story of Long's crimes was told on The FBI Files, Season 1, Episode 7, Killing Spree. Forensic Files, Season 2, Episode 1, The Common Thread. I Survived. Season 2, Episode 7, I Escaped My Killer. Season 1, Episode 1, Crime and Investigation Network. Killer Doctors on Death Row. CBS Reality. Evil Lives Here. Season 3, Episode 2, The Monster I Married. Investigation Discovery. World's Most Evil Killers. The Classified Ad Rapist. Bobby Joe Long. Reels on the Case with Paula Zahn. Season 6, Episode 5, Hanging by a Thread. Investigation Discovery. TV movies. Bobby Joe Long's story has been depicted in the Lifetime TV movie Believe Me, The Abduction of Lisa McVeigh, which aired in 2018. The film stars Katie Douglas as Lisa McVeigh, Rossif Sutherland as Bobby Joe Long, and David James Elliott as Larry Pinkerton. See also Wanted Killers. List of people executed in Florida. List of offenders executed in the United States in 2019. List of serial killers in the United States. References. External links. Appeal in and for Hillsborough County, State of Florida. Robert Joe Long at Curlie. Serial killers. Robert Joe Long. Bobby Joe Long. Bio. The FBI Files, Season 1, EP 7, Killing Spree on YouTube. Forensic Files, Season 2, EP 1, The Common Thread on YouTube. Florida Department of Corrections. Death Row. 10 petrifying facts about the classified ad rapist, Bobby Joe Long. 10 facts about Bobby Joe Long.